Hello and welcome to today's lesson. In this video we're going to be learning about the apostrophe and the letter S. What is an apostrophe? This is what an apostrophe looks like. An apostrophe looks a little bit like the number 9 all coloured in. But what does an apostrophe do? Well, an apostrophe does a few important jobs, but we're going to focus on one very important job, which is possession. An apostrophe can show us when something is possessed by something. Possession means to belong to someone or to belong to something. And an apostrophe can tell us when something belongs to a person. Look at this example. John owns the hat. In this example, the hat belongs to John. John is in possession of this hat. Now, if somebody asks the question, well, which hat are you talking about? Which particular hat? The answer is, I'm talking about that hat belonging to John. That hat that is in the possession of John. Or another way we could say it is, the hat which John has declared ownership of is the hat that I'm talking about. It's a very long-winded way of explaining that John owns this hat. There's a better way of doing it. We have a clever way to clear up this confusion. Instead of saying the hat belonging to John, or the hat in the possession of John, or the hat which John has declared ownership of, or the hat of John, we look at John and the hat, and we ask, what is the relationship between John and the hat? It's a relationship of possession. The hat is owned by John. And what we do is we add an apostrophe after John, and then we add the letter S. Now it becomes John's hat. Which hat are you talking about? John's hat. It's much simpler, isn't it? See if you can make some of the changes to these sentences to make it easier to see who owns what. The coat belonging to Mary, the car of the man, the hammer of Thor, the brakes on the bicycle. Well, the coat belonging to Mary, Mary is the person who is in possession of the coat, so it becomes Mary's coat. And we change it to Mary's coat by adding an apostrophe and the letter S, and following it with the item that she owns. Mary's coat. The car of the man becomes the man's car. The man, we add apostrophe S, and now we know that the car is belonging to the man. The hammer of Thor obviously becomes Thor's hammer. Thor, we add an apostrophe and the letter S, and then we add the thing that he owns. It also works for things. The brakes on the bicycle. The bicycle's brakes. You can see the difference here between the bicycles and brakes. We've added S to brake, and we've added apostrophe S to bicycle. So we know that the brakes belong to the bicycle, not the other way around. Another important job that the apostrophe does is contractions. Now, what is a contraction? A contraction is very important because contractions are when we want to shorten a word, make it easier to spell it and to write it. Now, who wants to say things like, I do not like green eggs and ham, when we could just say, I don't like green eggs and ham? What has happened here? We have taken these two words, do and not, and we have shortened them. We've squashed them together, and we've taken out the O from not. And to show that we've taken the letter out, we put in an apostrophe instead of the O. So I do not like becomes I don't like. Is not. Here's another example. What's happening here? Well, the O we take out of not, and to show that we've taken a letter out, we put an apostrophe in instead of it. Is not has become isn't. And then we squish them together. Is not becomes isn't, and we show that we've taken out the O by putting an apostrophe in instead of it. Now try these ones. Could not, would not, should not, I will, and we will. How do we shorten could not? We squish it together into could not. We take out the letter O from not and we replace it with an apostrophe to show that there is a letter missing. Could not becomes couldn't. Would not, wouldn't. Remove the O from not, replace it with an apostrophe, and then squish it together. It's the same with should not. Take out the O, put in an apostrophe to show that there was an O there, then squish should and n't together. It becomes shouldn't. I will is a little bit trickier. In this one we're taking out two letters. W and I is removed, and we put an apostrophe in to show that letters have been removed, and then we squash what's left together. I will becomes I'll. It's the same for we will. We, WI has been removed. We show that by putting in an apostrophe, and then we squash what's left together. We will becomes we'll. So now you know two of the important jobs that the apostrophe does. Make sure you try to use the apostrophe to show possession and to use contractions in your own writing. Thanks for watching.